have a limit. As soon as you touch this limit, something happens and you suddenly can go a little bit further. With your mind power, your determination, your instinct, and the experience as well, you can fly very high.
Hello everyone, and you're very welcome to today's video. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little opening that I made. I certainly had a great time making it, and yeah, welcome to my official league racing debut, I guess, if you want to call it that. This is like a really exciting day for me because I've been really looking forward to actually sharing this with you guys as well. And hello to everyone at the League of Europe who may be hearing my voice for the first time. This is what I sound like, but it's great to be a part of this this league and to actually meet a lot of new people as well thus far. You know, everyone's been really nice, and I felt really welcomed into this group since I first reached out on Twitter, like asking them before or after the new year, I think. But yeah, this is a bit of like a New Year's resolution for me. As I said, I'd never done any league racing before, and this was really an opportunity to just actually come in and just try to do something different with these games. I've been playing a lot of career mode, but I'm just kind of looking for something a little bit different. And yeah, league racing I think is something I've been following for the better part of a couple of years now, and it definitely is very intriguing. So I just thought, why not? I'm just going to bite the bullet and I can try it and hope that my internet holds up at the same time. So but yeah, here we go in qualifying, and yeah, like obviously not the best conditions to actually be starting out, but I actually felt really comfortable in the rain. It's just, there's no, like, I don't feel any pressure compared with the dry qualifying, because you've got to really push hard in qualifying. And yeah, my qualifying pace is not the best. It's something I've always needed to actually work on. So coming in with the rain, I actually felt like quite happy that it was there. So as you can see, we're 6/10 up on our banker lap, which was pretty decent. It puts us up in P5, and at the moment we are currently going very quick. And I was using Sam as a bit of a, not as a bit of a buffer, but you know, it was great to kind of have him in front. I wasn't really bothered that he was ahead of me, because it was actually a nice guide to actually use to try and just keep the car on track. But obviously the track limits here in Austria are very difficult, but we just about managed to hold it, and we go quickest at the moment. We do a 1:11, and I was pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. But I think you're going to see that, like, although I think this is a 20-minute session thereabouts, there was only a couple of laps that we could actually get in, and the track started to dry up really quickly. As you can see, we're actually making up a bit of time, but just the grip wasn't there. This is our third lap, and the grip just was not there for us. And as you can see, we're 2/10 down on this straight, and this was a bit of a worry because I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, am I making mistakes, or is this the track just like I'm not able to get the grip out of those traction zones? And basically the traction was very poor, but the track was really drying up really fast, and it was just really hard to keep the car. I keep saying really, I'm very nervous obviously doing this voiceover, because I know there's a lot of people probably that are going to be watching this going, I wonder what he's like. But yeah, it's kind of the slow corners that we were able to actually make the most time, but just getting that traction down, I couldn't get it. And here we go, we're coming around the final. The car just kind of drifts out a little bit here, and as we come through the final corner, we're going to improve by a little bit. But our teammate Frosty Calvin, who has been rapid all weekend at this track, even in the practice sessions that we done with each other, he was always ahead of me in qualifying. But I'm hopeful that my race pace is a little bit better. But yeah, we decided to actually just come in, and the track was really drying up, as you can see here, even more. and yeah, I was tempted to put on a set of dry tires, but unfortunately I wasn't as brave as my teammate. Calvin put on a set of of the soft tires, and he was on pace, I think, to get pole, but unfortunately he met a lot of traffic at the end, and Harry obviously was on the inters, and I think he was probably expecting him to move out of the way, but it was never going to happen. So unfortunately Calvin was only able to get P4, but we are in P6 at the moment, and I was pretty happy with that. You know, like, I obviously want to be further up. We're just our teammate is 2 spots ahead of us, but yeah, let's just see what happens in the race, and hopefully we can get off to a clean start as we pull away for the formation lap. And yeah, it was I was very excited. I mean, obviously we've got great weather in the race. I think I was feeling really confident with my race pace, because obviously with the practice sessions I done, I think I was able to really actually stay with my teammate throughout, either overtaking him or if I was following him. So between the two of us, we've done a lot of practice, and I think both of our races are going to be quite strong. The only worry I do have is obviously the track limits. That is going to be the big one, and I think in one of my practice sessions I got 20 seconds of penalties, so I'll be hoping to not get that much. But yeah, here we go. Anyway, we just have one last car. It's a Renault that's pulling up into the grid, and let's just wait on those 5 red lights as we're about to start our first ever league race, as we go to 5 red lights and the engines rev up and away we go. And I think I got a good start, and I was really happy, but obviously what's going to happen now I wasn't expecting, as a Williams goes completely sideways and we hit into the back of our teammate, and he has front wing damage. Calvin was, I can tell you, was really angry over the radio whenever we had the headsets on. He was not happy. The virtual safety car has been deployed, and we have no damage in our front wing, even though we hit into our teammate. We're very lucky that we had no damage, and we're able to carry on with the medium tires as well, and I think all the guys ahead of us are on the softs, so in some ways we do have the advantage, but we're going to really need to push hard that we can keep up. And yeah, I can tell you I was really nervous about this, because my hands were shaking and my ankles were shaking. I couldn't get the power down whenever I wanted. I couldn't brake properly, and there's just so many things to actually manage on your own, because just in terms of tire wear, in terms of tire temps, there's so many things in league racing that change so much, and they can change very quickly. So as you can see here, we just get a really ridiculous warning. That was just pure nerves. I was second guessing myself going into every corner, and it gets worse. We're only on lap 2, and already, as you can see here, we're going to get our second warning because we tried to pull back in towards the line, and I shouldn't have done that, but that was just one of the things of just constantly second guessing myself, and it was really difficult. And for our first race as well, I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on myself, but the guys ahead, and we get a penalty, so it's not ideal. We're already off to not a great start, and we're creating a lot of unforced errors that we really don't need to be causing, because we're on a tire that is not going to be as quick as the guys ahead, but after a while, after a few laps, things are going to go our way. And yeah, so obviously for my first race, I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on myself. If I got a penalty, that was fine, but I think at this stage in the race, this early, it definitely wasn't ideal. And as you can see, we spent the whole way up until lap 10, we weren't able to catch everyone, but now we are. And this is Callie and Alec in the Racing Point, and he was out of the DRS of the guys ahead, so he was actually pretty vulnerable, so he was actually quite easy to catch. But obviously the biggest thing as well I've learned in league racing, just after the two pre-season races I done and then this one, is saving your energy. You really have to save it. I am doing a atrocious job at that thus far. So it's definitely very difficult, and as you can see, we're just going to get a better exit out of this corner, and Cali doesn't have any DRS, so we're just going to, it's going to be a pretty simple overtake, but it's our first overtake in league racing, which I was pretty happy with that, but we just kind of miss our braking a little bit here. We have to go down into first gear, and we're up into P5, so overall, considering the start of this race, I just was happy out to be here, just like at this stage that I wasn't at the back of the grid somewhere, that I was, because our teammate had to box as well, but you'll be seeing him later on in the race. So here we go now, we're catching up with the guys ahead, and this is Storm and Ryan B who are just ahead of us. And obviously with the DRS trains, it's quite hard to get past certain people, but I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I made in this race. I didn't save enough energy at times, but Storm is coming into the pits. He's actually pulling over to the right hand side to actually indicate, and Ryan just goes straight on. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, but obviously Storm was letting us know that he was pulling into the pits, and we're up into P3. We're catching Goldie and Sam now. So Goldie was on, I think Goldie was on pole, and his teammate actually crashed into him at the start, so obviously he wasn't able to do anything about that. But these are two guys that we're going to be watching out for in this race as well, as Goldie pulls in, and so does Sam. So we are up into the race lead. So in our first league race, we are already leading a Grand Prix, and granted we have a penalty, but at the same time I thought this was pretty sick. And yeah, I just was like, keep it on track, take your time, and obviously make your pit stop whenever you need to. And I have nobody behind me at the moment, which is great. But as you're going to see here, the safety car comes out, and I was not ready for this. I just was like, I was freaking out, going, oh my god, what do I do? What tires do I go on to? And I think Jeff was trying to tell me to go on to a soft strategy, and I was like, please get this away from me. But as you can see, it was Brandon that actually crashed in the pit lane, and so obviously the pit lane wasn't closed, but it doesn't happen. But eventually we come in, and we're going to change it down to, I took off just a bit of downforce as well, because we're on a slower tire, and I wanted to maximize my speed on the straights as much as possible, because I felt I obviously felt very, very comfortable on 3, but I just wanted to actually take it down. But I initially thought that I wasn't in first. I actually thought that we were in second at this stage. So when I exited the pits, I was like, oh, that's annoying, we've lost first. But it just dawned on me that we were in first, and as the safety car, I had to really slow down quite quickly, and I think that might have caught Sam out a little bit too. So I realized at this stage, oh my goodness, we are actually going to be pacing the field the whole way through. And yeah, I was really nervous. I wasn't ready for this. I just sort of was like, I was just trying to act like I knew what I was doing, so it wasn't ideal. But yeah, it was eventful. I mean, the opening lap wasn't ideal, but I felt the more the race was going on, I felt very, very comfortable, which is a shame about the penalty that we have thus far, because nobody behind us up until P7 has gotten a penalty. So I think the rest of the guys are showing that they're very, very experienced, and they're very consistent. And yeah, I'm just trying to pace the field now as much as I can. I think, I didn't let the safety car get ahead of me as much as I would have wanted to. So I kind of meant I had to put the power down going out of this corner. And Sam was very wise to it. He was able to basically stay with me the whole time. But we're back underway racing now, and we're in the race lead. We're technically not going to win this race if things keep going the way they are with the penalty. But at this stage, I just was like, if I can keep Sam and Goldie behind me, if I can just annoy them as much, fake them into thinking that they can get past me at this part of the track, then that was my goal. So it was just to try and hold them off as long as I could, because they are on the medians, and they are going to be much, much faster than me, which is, so we're using a lot of energy to actually stay ahead of like Sam at the moment, so it's not ideal if we're going to keep this up. So we need to try and just stay ahead as much as possible and just try to fight it off, because like, it's very easy to make mistakes, but I found myself getting more comfortable when I was under pressure, because when I was trying to be more cautious and trying to be more, I was very nervous, I was making more mistakes. But the further I got into this race, the more comfortable I felt, and I was able to tackle them corners the way I wanted to. But obviously, being on the hard tires, I never raced on the hards on this track, so this was a new experience. Like, as Sam is coming up now, and he's going to be wanting to use all his energy to get past us, and it's just us at the minute. He's just over a second ahead of Goldie, and I think Sam is going to deploy his energy, but we are as well. But we're going to defend out of the inside, our first taste of wheel-to-wheel action, and yeah, we do a good job. So I actually try to just kind of gradually move him out to the left-hand side, and then that gave Goldie an opportunity, and I think the two of them made contact briefly. So we stay ahead for now, but I think it's going to get even worse as Sam has already caught up to us again. And yeah, this was pressure that this was trial by fire. Like, it really was, because Sam on the fresher tires, so he was like, I could sense he was wise to everything I was doing, and so was Goldie, and the two of these guys really put up like an amazing fight, and it was such an amazing couple of laps fighting them. But I think Sam isn't that far, so he's just going to wait and hold it off until the next corner. So he's going to have DRS going down this straight. So this is where I am losing so much energy, because he was quite smart there, because I actually used a lot of energy in the last straight. But he's going to go up the inside of us now, and we're just going to lock up, and we stay ahead briefly, and we just about managed to come out ahead of him. That was a very sketchy moment. I was certain the two of us were going to crash, and I was going to go off. But again, it just kept coming. Lap 23, Sam wasn't giving up. He wanted to get ahead of me as quickly as he could, but we're just going to now brake as hard as we can, and we make a little bit of contact, but I'm just going to squeeze him out a little bit and give Goldie an opportunity. And it turns out probably it was better that we kept him actually behind Sam, because he looks really rapid, and I think he's probably going to take his opportunity a little bit differently than Sam. But here we go, one more time, lap 25. We managed to stay ahead of Goldie for another lap. But as you can see here, I was very cautious on the brakes, and I just had to open the steering a little bit, and that just gave Goldie an opportunity to come right through. And he's overtaking us now for the race lead, so he's going to want to push ahead and get ahead of us as much as possible, because I wasn't able to overtake him. And I think Sam's just trying to go up the inside again at that bend, but it doesn't work out this time for him. Yeah, as you can hear on the radio, well, that's how I felt. I felt like George Russell been told that he had a puncture. That was not a good moment, because I think I let Goldie through very easily, but it was smart by him that he just kind of got the nose just alongside. But at this stage, we are very low on energy. It's so low, and I decided, to let Sam through, but we didn't have enough energy that I could chase him back on the straight. And yeah, what's going to happen here is a moment in league racing that I think is a big lesson and a big learning curve, is that it's about staying patient as we go up the inside, but we completely outbrake ourselves. And I think we get a warning as well with Sam. Yeah, we do. We actually get a warning. That was unintentional as well, that I wasn't hoping to actually crash into him or anything like that. But we've gone from P1 down to P5 in the space of a few laps, and obviously Sam done a good job there to stay ahead of us. And yeah, we've paid the price, because I was very impatient, and so it's a lesson. I think this race, all in all, is just about trying to actually get to grips with what league racing is about. There's obviously a lot of things that can go for you, but there's a lot of things that can go against you if you let them. And I think I really let I let that one get to me a little bit, because I wasn't I was angry that Goldie got past me because I wasn't expecting it, and so that kind of annoyed me a little bit, but I think I just needed to actually show a little bit more patience there. But as you can see, we're going to go up the inside of Stormer. I actually thought he was going to defend, but he moved back over to the left-hand side, so I actually just had to move out of the way to avoid him, and we actually get past him. That was a pretty decent overtake, and we're in P4 at the moment. But as you can see, our teammate Frosty Calvin is actually coming back, so he's stormed through the field. He's had an amazing comeback. I think he actually pitted under safety car under fresh mediums, so he's going to be really strong towards the end of this race, and he's only one spot behind us now, which is like a little bit worrying. I was quite worried at the time because obviously we want to try to get as many points as we can for the team, but I was eager to get past Ryan as quickly as I could, but ultimately he does a very, very good job here of holding me off. Ryan, for the next I think the next 4 laps, done an amazing job, and we're just going to try it one more time. We're really low in energy, which there's nothing new there. We try to go around the outside this time, but he does a very, very good job of holding me off. There's no way you can overtake there either, so you just have to kind of take it with a pinch of salt and just kind of get on with it. So we're going to tuck in behind Ryan for the rest of the race as much as we can and just see if we can get past him. But just our energy, I think the hards were starting to come back into their own at this stage. The mediums were starting to wear off, but I think Calvin, he was right behind me the whole way, and so that kind of meant I was trying to get past Ryan more and more, even though Calvin has a penalty. But yeah, we pick up another one, and that was inevitable because I had 2 warnings for a long time, and just tried my best to actually hold it off, but it just wasn't possible. So between the two of us, between myself and Calvin, we got 6 seconds of penalties each, and Ryan is obviously doing a really, really good job of just holding us off, but Sam as well is starting to fall back a little bit as he locks up, and Goldie is really, really flying out ahead. But I think Goldie has a penalty at this stage as well, so basically it's between Sam and Ryan, who are in P2 and P3, but Sam is currently on his way to a race win. I was never going to win at this stage, I knew that, but I think I just wanted to see if I could get on the podium on track and just see what I could do after that, as Ryan he tries to see what he can do going up the inside, but he's going to hold it again, and we're just going to really just try our best again, but it just wasn't working. It just, nothing I could do was working at all. But as you can see, Goldie now, and we actually got a tip from our teammate there as well. I think he just kind of misjudged his braking, but it didn't really change anything in the race. I was just trying my best, but I couldn't get past Ryan or Sam. So I think this is our final attempt of the race, and we try to outbrake him as much as possible, but yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. He leaves us enough room, but just the traction just wasn't there that I could try to actually get him. But we're just going to stay on board now until the end of the race. But it's been a really exciting race thus far, and it was a lot of fun. Between the top 5 and the top 6, there's nothing really to actually separate us. So for my first league race to be this far up the grid this early is, it was great. I felt really awesome just entering this race as well, and obviously was nervous, but I felt like I really, really wanted to give it my all, as we're now coming out of the final series of corners, and we're just going to try and see what we can do. We get a better exit than Ryan, but he's going to finish ahead of us, and yeah, there we go. We're in P4 on the grid, but with the penalties we fall back all the way to P6, and our teammate is in 7th. So obviously not ideal, but I think I will take that. We started 6th, and then we finished 6th. So I think I will take that any day. So
I don't know what to say. Sharing your feelings there, mate. Honestly, you had the pace today. But, still points today. You really showed your strength.
Yeah, I was pretty yeah, I was happy enough with the result, but I think I definitely let a lot of things get away from me that definitely could have been within my control, like a lot more. So yeah, like it is what it is. But obviously Sam done a good job and he won the race, and Ryan B in second, and then Goldie in third with his penalty as well. But obviously, guys, I'm really excited about this series. I had a ton of fun, and yeah, I hope I can improve in the next race. But until then, cheers.